Welcome to another episode of the Giant Beastcast. And today's a very special episode. One, because I get to host again. Love doing it. And quite frankly, the best host we've ever had. That's the word on the street, at least. My name is Abby Russell. Not sure if I said that yet. This is the Giant Beastcast. I gotta pull up my show notes. It is Thursday, September 10th. Or if you're listening to this at the traditional time, Friday, the 11th. Episode 277. We have come so far. But you know what? I can't do it alone. No. All the boys were like, I'm out of town. I'm not doing this show anymore. And you know what I said? Great. Perfect. Because that means I can bring on some more of my friends. Like Riana from What's Good Games. Hello, Riana. How are you?
Hello. I'm great. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Thank you for coming. Your hair looks great, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I just did it yesterday.
Oh, wow. Did you do it yourself?
Yeah, quarantine.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. This is an audio-only podcast, but, well, there's some video here. But just know it looks really good. We also have features editor from Fanbyte, Merrit K. Hello, Merrit. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. Your hair, also fantastic. Did you do it yourself?
I grew it myself, yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Good for you.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. And then last but not least, we have Mary Kish, friend of the site, longtime friend. Mary, how are you? How's it going? Hair looks great.
Oh my God. Thank you. I feel like you're obligated to say that after two amazing hair guests.
Yes.
You can't just be like, well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad, and we have Mary.
Yes, I would like to say, Abby, your hair also looking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been a fan of your curls.
Wow, thank you.
Lush.
They are flourishing today.
Thank you. It's honestly kind of a pain in the ass in the summer, but it's worth it in the end. Thank you so much. Anyway, thank you all for being here. It's great. Good energy on the pod today, I feel like.
Vibes
Silent
are
response.
high.
I love it.
Great vibes.
Good vibes, good time. This is the Beastcast. It's where we talk about games, where we talk about news, where we talk about emails that usually have things to do with food or disturbing things or how men pee through the hole over the gate. I don't know. I'm just relaying the message.
Okay.
Wait, what gate?
Yeah, this is weird. There's layers to that question.
The zipper, button, hole. They got holes in their underwear that are designed for that. Anyway.
I was picturing like a gate in a fence.
Yeah, me too.
Look, there's been a lot of metaphors that have been thrown around since this originally came up.
Okay. See, I'm not a long-time listener, so I don't have like the full backlog of jokes that sort of mature through a podcast life cycle.
It's a relatively
You're going to catch up real quick. It's all dick jokes.
Okay, cool.
But not anymore. Honestly, we can make more dick jokes. I don't care. Anyway, let's talk about games. What do we think? Games? Yes? Games? Yeah. Great.
I like those.
I have been playing a few. I recently played through the first chapter of Tell Me Why, which I think I've talked about a bit on this podcast before, but it is a Don't Nod production. They did the Life is Strange games, and this is another one in a very similar vein to those Life is Strange games. You are playing as a pair of siblings. I believe they're twins.
They are twins.
And yes, they are twins, and they... troubled past, but they're coming back together. They're reunited, and they're going, and they have to basically sell their mother's house, the house they grew up in. But there's like a whole, tumultuous history with their mother that they have to kind of reckon with and face. And it's, I'm enjoying it so far. I think for me, with a lot of the Don't Nod games, I find that like I really loved the first Life is Strange. I thought it was like saccharine in a way that worked for like the high school setting and that kind of cheesy environment. And I think some of the other ones, the like saccharineness doesn't always hit with me. I think just because it can feel a little bit like melodramatic, that I just doesn't think work in every context. But I still am really enjoying it. I'm eager to see where it goes, which is kind of the point of these. Another thing is like they always have like sort of a magical element to them. And this one is like, you can rewind, or you can't rewind time. The original one, you can rewind time. This one is you can remember things from your past. And that mechanic plays in with like, how you can remember, say, like if your twin remembers something differently, you can then go into a conversation either siding with yourself or your memory or your twin's memory, which I think is an interesting mechanic, but is maybe not like the most exciting mechanic that I've played in some of these games. Yeah. Have y'all been playing this one?
Yeah, full disclosure, I work on the game, so
Okay, yes.
I can give limited thoughts on it, but I do think the Rashomon effect and like the unreliable nature of memory and how any person in any situation will remember an event differently is really interesting. But I do wish there was more of it because it's one of the things that I thought was the most intriguing about the game. So it'll be interesting to see what people think since Chapter 3 is out now and the whole story is available.
Yeah, for sure. I love that they put out the chapter so quickly because I feel like part of what happened to me with Life is Strange 2 is I played the first chapter, really liked it, and then there was I think a few month gap between the next chapters, and I was like, I'll get to it eventually, and then I just never did. So it's nice to I feel like by the time I finished the first chapter, I was able to download the second one. So it's nice. I feel like the pacing of them coming out is a little more doable, especially in quarantine.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. And like I said, I'm eager to see where it goes, which I think is the biggest thing of these narrative games. I also am such a sucker for a game where I can make a choice and have that choice really get fucked up. I had a conversation in the game and I was like, woof, that did not go well, which I always really like. Yeah.
So is that the main use of the special power? It's not like eidetic memory, right? Where you can exactly have perfect memories and get the pieces out of them, or is it specifically dialogue?
So it's mostly dialogue and sentiment and if one person has a bad view of somebody, you'll kind of color everything that every experience you've had with them in a negative light, for instance. Or if somebody else has spent a lot more time with them and understands them a little better, their memory of the same event would be a little more nuanced and have a different context, and it's choosing between whose memory do you think is more true?
Yeah. And then it shows up in the game where you'll go into a room or a household, especially because you're revisiting these old spaces. So you'll go into them and then you'll be like, oh, I remember a thing that happened there. And then you sort of walk through the space and you kind of see them in this weird sort of metaphysical memory where it's they're not really solid or corporeal, but they're there. And then you just sort of see this little tableau basically. Yeah.
Similar to The Division. If you remember when you would pull up the little scenes in Division, it looks sort of like that.
Cool. To be honest, I don't remember. I don't remember there being memories in The Division. The Division is the one with the money flu, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The money flu.
Cool.
It's the what if there was destiny but real guns.
Oh, right.
Shooting people for hours. The same man. And he's wearing a vest. Man. And I had to shoot him 5,000 times.
Yeah, it's what if Destiny wasn't cool or fun or in space or exciting? And it was really depressing and everything was kind of gray.
Wow, I'm sure Vinny's not here
really
for this
fun,
one.
But I've never played it, so.
Yeah.
But one man takes 5,000 bullets to take it
that's the thing too, is okay, if I'm shooting a space monster, I can accept that it'll take 5,000 bullets to kill it. Mm-hmm. But a guy? That's
he has on a vest. He has on a vest.
That's a really good vest. That's a quality vest.
His chest is cold and his arms aren't.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I feel I don't remember much of that game because I played that game with friends, and it was basically just I'm going to shut my brain off and treat this as a phone call where I have something to do with my hands, which quite frankly it's the ideal way to play that game. Yeah, exactly. So I enjoyed it for that aspect of it. But I've also been playing a lot of Fortnite, which has a very similar scratch. It scratches the same itch of this is a phone call with friends, basically. And they have a new season out. It's Marvel themed. And personally, I'm never a fan of these mashups. I've talked about this before. I think they're perverted. I think that if you got the weird Fortnite character, it doesn't look good next to Thor. It just doesn't work. It's unnatural. No? I don't like it.
Even though they're technically from comics and animated?
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
So wait, are you saying you didn't like it when they revealed the plot of the Star Wars movie in Fortnite?
Did they actually do that?
Yeah. Well, the message, I never saw Skywalker, but the message that goes out to the galaxy saying, hey, suckers, I'm back. I'm Emperor Palpatine. you could only hear that in Fortnite.
Oh, I totally missed this.
It was the weirdest fucking thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, see, unnatural. It's not right. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it goes against God.
Exactly.
Sure.
Thank you. But I've been enjoying Fortnite recently. So I started playing with a new group of people because I have like my Fortnite crew that I still play with, which is just my buddies. And it's very casual, very much like, hey, we're hanging out, we're chit-chatting, we're on the phone. But I started playing with like another crew because I'm doing my video series Fortnite with St. Vincent. And I like am meeting more Fortnite people through that. And I met Bijan. I mean, I knew Bijan, but I didn't know he played Fortnite. So Bijan Steven, he plays Fortnite. So I've been playing with him, and his crew is like so serious, and it is like such a different gameplay experience to play with them and be like, oh my god, they're like calling people out, and like they're actually good at it and know how to build. So it's really it's changing the way I play Fortnite. We'll see if I get any better. So far, I'm perfectly satisfied being carried by the team. Yeah. Do any of y'all play Fortnite? Fortnite heads out of here?
I've played maybe like 10 hours or so, and I was like, not for me.
So y'all aren't like preteens like me?
I've played it a few times, but like I'm not very good at battle royale games.
Yeah, I mean, me either.
The look of Fortnite really put me off because it looked like when it came out, I was like, this looks like if PUBG was a DreamWorks movie.
Ooh,
yeah.
Which now that I'm saying that, it makes it sound way cooler. And also, like in Fortnite, I feel like because I'm not in the age group where I played Minecraft, my brain doesn't understand the building stuff. So like when I shoot someone in Fortnite and they turn into like a 6-story building, I like have no idea what's happening. Like I'd much rather just play Apex once every 6 months and sort of have some sense of what's going on. But Fortnite, I feel like it's like one of those language things, right? Where if you're young, your brain can adapt to it. But like I'm past that point where I can acquire new knowledge.
You're like too old to learn to skateboard type situation. Exactly. I'm not embarrassing myself in front of all these 8-year-olds.
Well, that's the other thing is like I don't think I could live with myself. Just like being owned by some 8-year-old, you know?
It does hurt.
Yeah.
It hits different.
I like it. I like being owned by children. I think it's fun. Anyway,
keeps you
playing
humble.
more Fortnite.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, keeps me in check. Yeah, still playing Fortnite, having fun. I was told that there are more map changes today. I think it's so nice that they just keep updating shit. Like, there's constantly new stuff, which I really don't have a lot of games like that. So it's just nice to be like, oh, I don't have to pay for anything. I don't have to think about anything. I just show up and like, wow, it's different now, which is cool. I've also been playing a lot of Rhythm Heaven Fever on stream. You can check it out on our website. Man, it's fun. That game is really hard, but it's really fun. I want more rhythm games. I also want it to come to the Switch. Have y'all ever played the Rhythm Heaven games?
Have you heard of Vector Gnome?
I think I have. Yes, I think I've actually played it. Yeah. And I liked it. That's the one where you're sort of like, it's kind of like a platformer, but you have to like jump on beat basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do. So you have to like navigate your way through the puzzles, which are constantly moving. But if you move on beat, that's like the key to getting across. And the music's fucking fire. Yeah. Sorry, can I say F word?
Please swear as much as you would fucking like.
The music is fucking fire.
Yes.
But no, I haven't tried this one. I might have to download that one.
I mean
the 3DS one?
Rhythm Heaven Fever was on the Wii. I'm playing it via my Wii U. But it has aged so well though. I think because the aesthetics aren't trying to be like realistic, it's just trying to look fun, and it absolutely accomplishes that. And like aside from not really having like a quick reset button, there's really very little in it that doesn't feel like modern, you know. It's such a simplistic game, but which is why I think it aged so well. It's just got great style, great songs. Big fan.
I haven't played a rhythm game since Thumper, and I loved that game. So I think I would be down for another jaunt down a rhythm game alley if it was like akin to that. That was kind of my jam.
The right kind of rhythm game.
Yeah.
I agree. I love rhythm.
Did you try Beat Saber?
Me? No, I want to. You have, right, Mary?
You should definitely like.
I don't have a VR rig. I need VR.
You have to get into the virtual reality. It will change your mind because it combines a love of like rhythm, but then you're exercising and you can pretend that you're actually like really cool. Like you can feel yourself being cool, and you can see yourself.
I would love a VR simulation where I'm really cool. Like to me, like the ideal VR. Like
It's
why aren't there more
possible.
games with that kind of thing?
Yeah,
Like,
could I
being
just
cool.
put on like a VR headset and look down at my body and I'm wearing like a leather jacket and smoking a cigarette?
Yeah.
It's just like cyberpunk VR, but it's just you walking around.
Just a lot of people walking the street looking at you being like, whoa, that girl's cool.
Whoa. So cool.
It's the same job. You look the same. Nothing changes, but you can fly and everyone says you're really cool.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's ideal.
Yes. Anyway, that's mostly what I've been playing. I've also been watching a show called The Vow on HBO. Have y'all seen it? It's about a cult. Nexion, I believe it's called. It's a cult. Anyway, it's a lot of it examines like how people enter cults. And I find it fascinating. And it's really made me question my relationship with improv comedy, which I've been doing for the past like 7 years. Improv's not a cult, but like there are some things that I'm like, similarities.
Because it has levels.
It does. Like you pay for these classes and then eventually you get on a team. And like the thing is you can leave improv at any point and like, you know.
Yeah, of course. No, you can leave whenever you want. It's your choice. If you want to be a quitter, if you want to walk out on this and just everything you've built, that's totally fine. You're totally allowed to just leave at any time.
It's also like improv is a thing that like this matters a lot for the people who are in it, but anybody else outside of it, fuck off. Like who gives a shit? But I think I've always had that perspective. Anyway, I'm just saying this to make myself feel better after watching this documentary, but I'm really very fascinated. I want more episodes. Anyway, Mary, what have you been playing? Anything fun?
I have been playing. I just finished The Last Campfire. It's very good. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. But it was a surprise. It's from Hello Games. And it's kind of their new game, but it's totally different than what you would expect from a Hello Games production. This one is like top down or 3D and 3D, and it's almost Zelda-esque, where you are a little bug in a world and you're navigating puzzle design. And the puzzles are really intricate and the world is adorable and soft and cute. And so it makes you really happy when you're playing it. The puzzles aren't wicked hard, so you're actually kind of just enjoying the experience of being this little you have like little ears that are super cute, and you're you kind of look like maybe a little tiny cartoon wolf character in a cape, and you're running around solving puzzles for different animals in the world. So it's kind of an animal world. I don't think there's human beings per se, but you're helping little spirits that have lost their way. It's just kind of a huge change from No Man's Sky, but it's so well done. It's so polished and cute. And I played it on the Switch, which was like a very enjoyable experience to kind of sit down and like solve a couple puzzles. And it's narrated by a woman who sounds like BMO. And so I just enjoy it.
That does sound it. It's The Last Campfire, and that's out now.
Yeah, it's out right now. I had a joy playing it. It wasn't super long. I want to say it was like I finished it in 2 sittings of about 3 hours a piece. I probably finished it in like less than 7 hours, but I really enjoyed my time with it. I really do. Like, I think it was like a very, what do you call it, cozy game? It's like a cozy experience. If you guys are down with cozy games, I've been playing them a lot in 2020, and they're really good. So The Last Campfire was awesome. I've also been playing Spiritfarer, which is also very calming and relaxing, where you're building the boat and you're getting spirits to their rightful destination. And on the boat, you're also growing vegetables and stuff. You use them to cook. And you're traveling with your boat to like collect lightning and various items that you can have the spirits cross over. And that's absolutely delightful.
Yes. Alex and Vinny were talking about that one. It seems really good. I've been meaning to check it out. How have you been playing that one? That one's on Game Pass too? Spiritfarer?
Yeah, I think so. That one is.
So, yeah.
I think I purchased that on Steam because I've been following that game developer for many years. In fact, the first game I ever streamed was from that same company. It was called Jotun, and Thunder Lotus Games, and they make games that are often hand-drawn. And Jotun is like fabulous. Like if you haven't heard of it, you should check it out. You're just this like hand-drawn tiny like warrior guy, and all hand drawn, and you'll fight these like massive, crazy monsters that are all hand drawn, and you're kind of just like slicing and dicing them with your hatchet. It's dope, and it came out like 6 years ago.
Jotun?
Yeah, Jotun.
Wow, cool. All right, you playing anything
I will
else?
advocate.
What's going on? Great. I want to check it out. I'm like writing all these down. I got a list now.
I haven't played Spiritfarer yet, but I've been following that game for like a year since I saw it at PAX. And one of my favorite things is just like all the little details in it. Like you can swim off the side of your boat and you have this little like cat companion who follows you. And when you swim, the cat doesn't want to get in the water. So it like balances all four paws in this little ball that's like floating on the water. And it's like the fucking cutest thing in the world.
That sounds very charming. Sounds very cozy as well, I would say. Another cozy game.
Oh, yeah.
Cozy games are great. They're like really nice to enjoy, especially like now a lot of times my weekend plans are nothing, right? So it's like I don't always feel like playing something competitive or stressful. So like on a Friday, I'm more likely to like bust out a game where I'm just going to like casually grow some vegetables and, you know, jump in the water and, you know, swim to my next destination. Like there's different vibes, and that's been like a vibe I've had a lot lately.
Yeah, I really love that vibe. I also love when you find like a cozy game that really like sinks its teeth into you. You know, like that's kind of how I felt with Stardew Valley. And that game had a little more of like planning to it, but it's still very cozy, I think.
Yeah, I got the Animal Crossing family.
Yes.
Ooh, Animal Crossing was a big one for people this year.
I need to go back to Animal Crossing. I haven't been back in forever because there was one fossil that I couldn't get. And it was literally like 3 months of me trying to get this one final fossil, and I never got it. And I haven't been back. And now it's like a new season, so I'm like, I should go back. But every time I do, I'm like, that fossil.
It's spooky now.
Oh, is there like, is there Halloween stuff? Oh, that might bring me back in.
Yeah.
When I'm not playing cozy games, I'm typically playing horror games. So I'm also playing, you know, little switcheroo. I also just finished Silent Hill Homecoming. I'm going through the Silent Hill series.
Okay. Are you doing that on stream or just... Are you doing that on stream?
Yes, I'm doing it on stream. So we did with my friend Nina. She makes games, so it's really cool to hear her perspective on it. And also she loves Silent Hill. So we played Silent Hill 1, 2, 3. Then we played, Homecoming. And then Origins. I think I'm missing one because I think I did. Okay. This is the 5th one now.
Are you going to play PT on stream? Silent Hill adjacent?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a PlayStation that has PT, and Nina's never played it. So the idea is I've been playing through all of them and she's been guiding me, but on PT, she's going to play it and I'm going to guide her. And that'll be really good. She really has like I think she's going to be really shocked with how scary it is compared to the other.
That game is so fucking scary. Like that game, I have played it a number of times.
The Room. Thank you,
Jen. It's too scary. It's too scary. Anyway, anything else? So Silent Hill, you're also going through Dead Space, right?
Yeah, I just finished Dead Space 2. You'd be so proud of me. I did it.
Yes.
I finished it.
Does it do all the chapters, the first letter, do they reveal the ending like the first one did? I was not a fan of that, by the way.
I don't think so. I was shocked by that. I didn't piece that together about the letter thing. And then the second one, it's really interesting because it's more of like a mental horror because she's constantly in your head being like, you killed me or whatever. So she's involved in the second one still. The chapters don't do that cool twist. But the end boss fight is such a slog. I really, really suffered through the very last section. And I wanted to ask you, because I know you went through this, did you suffer through the last boss fight? Because I actually spent too long on it.
We never played the second one. We might get to the second one eventually. We only played the first one.
You should play the second one.
Yeah, I should. I think for me, I didn't love the first one, I think, as much as people wanted me to. I enjoyed aspects of it. I thought the weapons were fun, but I also felt like I got all of them and then like never really got new ones. But I think for me, like the Resident Evil games, which we had played through on the site, those like had a lot of moments of like jump scares and kind of tenseness that I think that Dead Space never really got to for me. I think it was just too open. The atmosphere just wasn't the same. I just didn't find it as scary, which is fine, but yeah.
I think that's a fair criticism because they're very different. Because I played through all the Resident Evils first, right before I did Dead Space. One of the main questions I get is, "What's better, Resident Evil or Dead Space?" And I'm like, "It's Resident Evil." And it's not just because I started with it; it's because Resident Evil really crafts highs and lows, and the design of a story that makes you keep guessing and thinking. They're even like. The poor ones are beautifully designed to make you be like, but who is this man and what does he want? And it's like very interesting. The concept of umbrella, there's like way more nuance to it. And they're often, especially 7, my God, they're often like beautifully designed to give you lots of foreboding feelings before you actually meet that monster. Whereas in Dead Space 2 and 1, what they typically do is they say, everything's fine. And then he busts out through a wall, but they're not building it in the same capacity.
Yes.
So they're very different.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. I totally agree with that. Yes. I think I feel like I saw it coming a little more in Dead Space, and also just was like, it felt a little bit like the same kind of loop. Anyway, is that all, Mary? You playing anything else? Doing anything else?
I mean, I just finished those. I just found out that Silent Hill, the movie, is on Prime, so I'm actually going to watch that, I think, now.
That should be fun. Can you?
I don't know if it's good. I want to see it.
Can you watch that on Twitch? I know that Twitch has their, like, viewing parties now. Is that for like anything?
For the Amazon movies?
Yes, I'm going to find out tonight. I'm pretty sure that if it's on Prime, you can watch it in a watch party on stream. The only people who can watch it must also have Prime and must also have the movie in the same area of the world. So like maybe people in Canada have different access to different films because Prime is based on your location. It might be reduced to like straight up America, depending on the film. It just depends on the film. So it's like there's a lot of red tape to it, but I want to see it. So I'm going to try it.
Wow, that's cool. I hope you get to do it. I mean, that's like such a smart thing to bring to Twitch, considering like Amazon already owns them anyway. And like, especially during quarantine where I think everyone's kind of like itching for that like group. Come on, like, Anyway, Mary, thank you so much. Riana, it's your turn. What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? Well, tell me why, obviously. I'm almost done with chapter 3. But I'm trying not to talk about it too much because, as we talked about, it's unraveling a mystery and I don't want to give anything away. Spoilers are very fresh, so I'll just say I'm enjoying it and I can't wait till other people have played so I can finally fucking talk about it. Because, like in game dev, it's hard because I'm on the marketing side, but I've known this story for so long that I'm like, I'm ready to discuss this now. Like now, can I talk about it now? Can it like now?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I can't.
I mean, it's a little bit different, but I felt that a little bit when like you get codes early and it's like, who is playing this? Like I got to know somebody who's like also playing this thing. Like, please fucking talk to me about it. So yes, I can relate to that.
Yeah, it's like imagine watching like 3 episodes of Game of Thrones and then you have to wait like 4 months to talk about it. It's tough. It's tough. A great problem to have though. But yeah, I've been playing that. I spent like 5 to 7 minutes in Paradise Killer, which I think somebody else wrote down. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it, Merrit. And so my introduction to Paradise Killer was through music. So really good Twitter friend, Natalie Flores, Heartamisia on Twitter, posted the music, that main theme song, like when you first dive. And I fell in love with it. I was like, okay, what is this? This is giving me like 80s synth vibes, like some Tina Marie. I was so feeling it. Like I was literally dancing around my living room to a freaking video game song and I hadn't even booted it up yet. So I was like, okay, obviously I need to download this and play it immediately. And then obviously I got super busy and didn't touch it. So I just booted it up for the first time yesterday and fell asleep before I had time to really get into it. So I want to get into it more and hear what you think about it. And then other than that, Fall Guys. I'm playing some of that.
Yeah, I felt very
lots and lots of Apex.
Yeah,
lots of Apex.
Going back to Paradise Killer a little bit. What kind of game is that? I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tag in Merrit for this because I think you have a lot more context than I do.
Well, I will say I haven't played that much more than you, but Natalie wrote a really great piece about Paradise Killer for Fanbyte. Natalie writes tons of great stuff for us.
Always.
So Paradise Killer is a mystery solve. It's like a murder mystery.
Oh, hell yeah.
In this vaporwave ass world that just like starts telling you stuff and doesn't like give you like oh, and here's the whole like history of this world. It's just like, yeah, there's this council that creates like an island that everyone lives on. And then every few like 100 or 1,000 years, it's corrupted by demons. And so they destroy it and create a new one. And every time they're trying to get closer to like a perfect world. And it was like the eve of creating the 25th island, which was supposed to be like the perfect final island. And the entire council was murdered. And you have to find out who did
mystery.
it. And you're like, you play as this character named Lady Love Dies, who's been exiled for like 3 million days on this weird little island. And then is like called back out of, she had to retire in disgrace after she was like seduced by a demon or something.
What? I feel like you got me. I'm like, ooh, murder mystery.
Oh, yeah.
And the more you talk, like, Lady Love Dies. She fucked a demon. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I know. It's so wild. Like, it's just like, oh, this is just what the world is. And like, when you meet a character, it'll be like, oh, they were born in like 1000 AD. They joined like the psycho investigation squad and then fought in like the demon wars at Attica. And it's just like, they're just saying things. And I don't know if there is like a coherent backstory, but like the vibes of this game are so powerful and good. Like Riana was saying, it starts off where like, you're just, you know, in exile on this little island that looks like a Windows 95 screensaver.
In like the best way.
In the best way. And then you're called back. And so like, they're just like, oh, you have to come down to the island and like help. And she's like, what, you just want me to jump? And they're like, yeah, no one can die. It's fine. Like the island is perfect. So no one can die. So you just like jump off and like it starts playing this amazing track. And then like the second you hit, it just flashes the title card. It's like, I've only played about 20 minutes of it so far, but it seems like you're walking around through this, like it's first person. Basically you meet other people, you like ask them questions, you like look for evidence, and then you have like this big file that you're putting together, like a case basically. And then at some point, I guess there's like a trial. So it's like kind of like a Danganronpa, or like a Phoenix Wright, but it's first person, and very just like this very distinctive world. Wow. I guess is a good way of putting it. There's a man who's just like a skeleton. There's a guy named Dr. Doom Jazz. Just like everything is very vibrant and
Paradise Killer. I'll have to check it out. That sounds really cool. I mean, I love a good mystery. I love anybody who fucks a demon. I'm already on board. I ship it. I support it. I want to see more of it.
Ace Attorney at Law, but you fuck a demon.
Yes. I'm horny for the devil.
Game of the year, yeah.
If it's a crime to be horny for Satan, then lock me up. Guilty as charged. Anyway, Riana, you were saying you're also playing a lot of Apex.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Apex and getting to know the new champion Rampart, whose voice actress I actually interviewed recently, cool. Anjali Bhamani, and she's dope. The character's dope. And I really like Apex. I'm not sure how I feel about the changes they've made with this latest season. They switched all the shields to the type where you have to do damage to other players in order to level them up or collect materials and then build a better shield, which has concentrated a lot of the fights into like really sweaty areas. And the sneaky, more scouty character loadouts are a little bit less effective right now. So we'll see how it goes. I know the competitive scene is not happy about the changes either. So hopefully they're hearing that feedback and maybe we'll make some adjustments.
I know little about balancing a game seems so hard. Also, these games that have like so many characters and they all have different mechanics. One, I find them very overwhelming to get into, but it also just seems like such a difficult thing to make and like keep everybody happy. You know what I mean? Like I would imagine every time you add a new character, it changes like everything about the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I can't imagine like how much work they've put into it. And so I don't want to disparage any of that effort. Yeah. Like I love that they're keeping it fresh. I love how much support Apex has gotten. I mean, the fact that it launched with like 0 lead up and then has not stopped at all for any breaths. Like it's very impressive what they've done. And I'm still playing it and still enjoying it. And I've given them a good amount of money for those cosmetics because, Lord, the Loba skins.
How much of this is people's like an actual, they've made it a little busted and broken, and how much of this is people's disinterest or opposition to change. Because anytime they make large changes in Overwatch or League or Dota, the community also has pretty aggressive reactions, especially if a character is aggressively nerfed or changed in a significant way. But quite often they are for good. So to play devil's advocate, like what makes you think, that this is like, dang, they got to like go back on these changes?
Yeah, I haven't seen any specific reasoning why they changed the shield like mechanic, or why they made all shields mandatory power up versus you just find a level 4 shield, for instance. I think maybe they're just trying to encourage more encounters, and that seems to be what people are responding to, and you could either like it or hate it. Depending on the way you play, right? If you prefer to sneak, if you prefer to hide the whole time and just find the final circle, that used to be a viable strategy and it just isn't anymore. And so I think that's probably what's driving a lot of the negative sentiment. And competitively, I think they made the right call. It's just rubbing a lot of people the wrong way.
Wow.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because I wonder lately, so like I play a lot of Destiny, and a lot of the changes that Bungie makes to that game, like they will even say, are driven by making it a more watchable game. And it sounds like making the shields like dependent on getting into encounters would make for a game where there is like more aggressive play, which is probably more interesting to watch on a stream than someone like hiding until the end, right? And so it seems like there's this conflict with these live games where like companies really, really want them to be like big on Twitch, but like in doing that, they don't always, like sometimes it affects people's style of play, which, maybe they're not streaming, they just want to play the game. So like you maybe want to play more defensively or like stealthily. And these changes seem to be like pushing you towards this thing that will make for like more exciting footage, for better or worse.
Yeah,
Merrit,
no,
I
absolutely.
totally agree.
Yeah, it's like such a
when
fascinating...
they changed, go ahead.
Oh, no, I wasn't really going to say much, but you go, Mary.
I was gonna say, when they changed Mercy in Overwatch, that was like a huge change. They took away her res of the entire team. For Mercy lovers like me, that was gutting. They had like ruined her, in my opinion. But what they did was they were trying to stop people in competitive play from having everyone die and then rezzing everyone all at once, which is dope, but it's like probably not what they were thinking about when they were thinking of high level play. They wanted people to be rezzed as they needed them. And so they completely changed her character in what I believe to be for competitive, because they want to focus on competitive. And that's interesting, because the way casuals, pick up those characters, they might ruin them for like, people who just enjoy the game, but they're much more focused on the money at the end of the
getting
day,
those eyes and ears. I mean, that's definitely a really good call out, Mary, and something that I think is a challenge for a lot of these people and these teams running battle royales is that, yes, competitive is what drives more interest ultimately from both people in the competitive scene and watching it, so therefore the casuals. But something that I've always really appreciated about Apex is that they've been really focused on accessibility, and they brought in the ping system that has made it possible for a lot of people who have trouble or are uncomfortable communicating in like random match games. They made that possible, and we've seen it been added to Fortnite, to Warzone, to all these other battle royales as well. It's become sort of like a gold standard in communication inside the game. And I really appreciated the way that they have like a very diverse cast, and like they have inclusivity. They have a non-binary character. Like I felt like it was really a great game to point to for people who wanted to see competitive games that are accessible. But it's a tough line to walk, because like you do want to still be welcoming to casuals, but keep up that interest in people who are more hardcore and who are going to invest more time, energy, and advertise for you. I don't know if maybe they do a casual mode with like old mechanics, or like if there's ways to break things off in limited time modes. But, I do hope that they address the accessibility and how it's really kind of edging out a lot of casual players right now.
Wow. As a casual player in most things, please keep it accessible for me. Anyway, Riana, anything else? Playing, watching, what you doing? If not, nothing
watching
else, that's
Lovecraft
also fine.
Country.
Yes, I've heard good things. I've been meaning to watch it. I've been waiting for the vow
I need to
finish.
catch up on the last one, but it's great. It's definitely got Jordan Peele vibes all over and through it.
Ooh.
And every episode feels like an homage to a different like horror or thriller genre, which is really cool. Like it almost feels like an anthology.
Are you familiar with like the Lovecraft universe, or are you coming into it? Okay, good. Because I am not really.
I'm not at all.
Yeah. Because I think that's I don't know. I like a thing that is like maybe an homage, but it's not like a you gotta be a big nerd to follow this one. You know what I mean?
Oh no, not at all. It's very approachable and super great, and also the cast is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. I think it's really good and has some good commentary in there.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I've been meaning to watch it. So, Lovecraft Country on HBO, I assume is how you're watching.
Yeah, HBO Max.
Yeah. Honestly,
got that login.
Pretty good. I'm on my dad's, and I'm not complaining. Merritt, what are you up to? Your turn. I know you talked about Paradise Killer, which seems very cool.
Yeah,
but
I started Paradise Killer. It's funny. There's like dozens of games coming out right now where I'm just like, oh my god, I have to play this before the end of the year. Like, so Paradise Killer, and I started that. Moon, I started that and then died, and then realized you're supposed to read the manual, which they posted online to know how to play it, which seems cool, so but I need to get into.
I feel like Moon. That's the one that was like originally on like the original PlayStation, then they ported it, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Tim Rogers was involved in the translation, and it's like this kind of big, important JRPG that came out in the 90s that a lot of people think games like Undertale are sort of the first ones to really like critique, or not critique, but like parody or turn the gaze back on those tropes and stuff. But like Japanese games were doing that like long before. And so like a lot of people have basically said like, yeah, Undertale wouldn't exist without Moon. And it's like a game where you play as like this boy who's playing a video game and then gets like sucked into it. And it's all about love. Like it's about like
that's very Japanese.
Building up your love and like helping like injured animals and stuff. But I haven't really gotten into it because I keep getting sucked into live games. So I play a lot of Destiny. That's been pretty quiet lately just because we were supposed to have the new expansion in like 2 weeks, but they pushed it back to November. So there hasn't been a whole lot going on, but I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter again.
The one that came out like a couple of years ago?
Yeah, Monster Hunter World. Because so I played it when it came out on PS4, and I like got through the campaign. And then when Iceborne came out on PC like a year ago, I bought it again on Steam and played through the whole campaign again, because you have like there's no like skip to Iceborne. They give you like good gear so that you can go through it pretty quickly, but you still have to play through it. And then I got to Iceborne and was like, okay, well I'm done. Like I'm kind of Monster Huntered out. But a few people on staff at Fanbyte, so managing editor Steven Strom plays a lot of it, and they talk about it all the time. And I was like, all right, yeah, Destiny's slow. I'll pick up Monster Hunter again. And like, I don't know if any of y'all played Monster Hunter, but like, it's a very good game.
I played it when it originally came out, and let's agree to disagree on this one.
Oh yeah, not
that
a fan.
game it's so hard. It's so inaccessible. Like I found it really difficult to get into it, and I also just like did not vibe with the aesthetics of it. And at the time too, I don't know if they fixed this, but the multiplayer stuff was like impossible.
It's the multiplayer stuff. It's still weird with like the lobbies and stuff. Like that is the weirdest extant thing about that game. I think they've probably fixed a lot of stuff, but I don't know. I just something about hitting a big lizard. It's just like a lot of fun to me. Like hitting a big lizard until it falls over, and then you take its parts and turn them into a different sword that let you hit a bigger lizard. Just like all the monsters are so. I kind of love the aesthetic of those games. Just like the monsters are so distinct, and they have like their own little personalities and stuff. And the ways that you have to like learn to fight each of them. So I will say, like, I hate Dark Souls. Like I hate Souls games. And when this came out, a lot of people compared it to those. And I was like, I don't think I'll like that. But then my friend Pat Gill did a video at Polygon, like explaining why he loves the series and like how to get into it. And it's like a 20-minute video explaining Monster Hunter World. And I watched it and was like, oh, this seems cool. And It's definitely a different kind of game than like, it's not a traditional action game, right? Because like all of your moves have wind up and you have to be really careful about positioning. And everything like takes time. There's very few like instantaneous actions you can take, which can be really frustrating, I think. But I don't know, for whatever reason it hooked me. I think it just has a nice loop of like, yeah, you hit the lizard and then you come back and you get a really buff cat to like make you a nice meal and then you eat it.
People love
And
the
in
cats.
Iceborne, the chef is this like grandma cat who like
That is very
makes
good.
you this little soup and roast and everything, and it's like it's incredible. And I just like any game where you can dress up your character,
Yeah.
because I've got my character wearing a cat mask right now. Like, so he just looks like, I named him Wade Garrett after the character in Roadhouse.
I think I've seen part of Roadhouse where like someone gets like kicked off a stool or something.
Yeah,
Roadhouse
that
is
happens.
like
That probably
notoriously
happens.
bad, right? That's the thing about Roadhouse is it's like this is bad.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's
Okay.
like one of my favorite movies. Yeah, Pat Swayze. Patrick
Careful,
Swayze plays a bouncer.
Fantastic.
He plays a bouncer with a degree in philosophy.
Okay.
And it's very good. It's a very good movie.
You said like with a degree in philosophy and then like left it open as though I should be like, oh my God, that is a good movie.
I think the
Just
idea
marinate
of
on that
Patrick
for a
Swayze
second.
playing a bouncer who waxes philosophical all the time is a pretty great premise. But I mean, you know, your tastes may vary, just like they vary when it comes to Monster Hunter, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. But I'm working my way through the Iceborne campaign right now, and my hunter in cutscenes just has a big cat head, and he's just like there's a cutscene yesterday. I posted a tweet of this, but where the commander or whatever is like, you've done great work out there, terrific job, and he just like cuts to like my hunter with like a big smiling cat head, and he just looks like so happy.
That is very good.
Does that mean that you killed a cat monster to get that cat head?
No, the cat head it's like a decoration that's supposed to make you look like one of the palicos in the game.
Oh.
So it's not like from a monster. It's just like they add all these weird cosmetics and stuff too. Like, there's so many weird crossovers in that game. Like the Witcher shows up at one point and is like, "Hi, I'm the Witcher. I'll help you
perverted.
hunt this
Does he
monster."
leave?
It's perverted.
He
It's
just walk
unnatural.
away after saying he's the Witcher.
He kills a monster and then he walks back through a portal. But then he teaches you how to do magic, kind of.
That sounds dark.
Dante,
I don't like
Dante, you can like get Dante's coat.
Is it perverted?
It's perverted. It's
extremely
dark-sided.
perverted. You can turn your cat into Mega Man. It's really all kinds
No.
of weird. Yeah.
It's the final
love
boss,
that.
Pac-Man.
They also had
No, I think
Horizon stuff, right? Like
they had Horizon Zero Dawn stuff.
Yeah.
There's a Final Fantasy 14 crossover where you can fight one of the
Wow.
monsters from that game. It's
many
weird. Like
licenses.
it's Capcom's like biggest game
Wow.
of all time, I think.
Yeah, it's got a huge audience. I remember playing it. Was it 3 came out on the Wii and it came out on the 3DS, which was cool because you could actually cross-platform play. So I played on a Wii while someone else played on a 3DS, and we played the campaign together, and it was absolutely a joy to do. I like have like vivid memories playing with another person and being like, you go for the legs and I'm going to attack the wings because it's a bird. And then you get the feathers, and then you make a bird costume. And it was just like this nice delight. Would I do it solo? I think it was like, to me, that was like a fun journey to do with like other people and enjoy that experience. So I think like I like the online component, but when it comes to doing those things alone, I just feel like I'm a elephant murderer, essentially. It's
much more
these
fun.
fabulous creatures.
No, it's definitely a game that I think is best played with other people for sure.
Yeah.
Because then you get someone like my coworker Steven, they play the hunting horn, which just gives you buffs. And so they're just like jamming out on this huge like pair of bagpipes. And then they start hitting the dragon with it.
Love. I didn't know you could be a bard in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you can be a bard in Monster Hunter. It's
dope.
pretty cool. Yeah.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's what I will say about it. I'm glad you're having fun.
Any game
I love that
where
you
you
love
can just
it.
pull out an instrument and just vibe on it, like to me, that is very good.
Yes. It's wild that Monster Hunter is the only one you can do that on. Anyway, shall we take a break?
Wow. Oh my God.
Damn.
This really isn't about you. This is about.
Can I tell you about Warframe, Abby? Because you can also do that.
Oh God, not this again. All right, we got to take a break. So we will be right back very shortly after this break. Hello, we are back, and we are back with breaking news about everything. So much news. A big piece of news is that the Microsoft has announced all of their new systems. Release dates, what they are, prices, hot off the presses. Xbox Series X got a release date and a price. It is going to be coming out November 10th, so they say. We'll see if COVID delays that. I mean, I would think they would know by now, but it is coming out for the $499 price tag, about $500, which I think is expected. That's kind of exactly what I expected to happen. I don't know. That seems normal, right? Isn't that what consoles cost?
It's a great price, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the last time I bought a console. Oh, I guess the Switch Lite. But that's different.
Yeah, but that's different. It's also like, I think for me, again, not to toot the same horn I've been tooting for a while, but like, who buys a console day one? Like, you gotta wait for the game library to come out. My consoles are still good. I don't know.
Hey, listen, the Xbox will have a library of 4,000 games when it releases.
You're making enemies, Abby.
Mary and Riana raised their hands.
Yeah.
Merritt's defending it. I've already shit all over Monster Hunter.
I have an Xbox already. It's called a computer. Like, it even works.
Totally fair.
Xbox controller.
Yeah, but it's not as comfy cozy. It's hard
not
to
Game
set
Pass,
up.
baby.
Let me tell you. I have my monitor on a stand, right? So I can turn the arm and sit in a very comfortable chair, like 5 feet away from my computer. And this is a solved problem. And Game Pass is coming to PC, or it's on PC already, right?
It is.
Fine.
It is.
You're not
Can
wrong.
you play
I'm not the audience for a new Xbox, probably.
Because I play Just Dance in my living room, and I have a console in my living room, and I have a console in my office, and I have a Switch when I want to go to the bathroom. I got one in every room in my house, and I get them on day one because
I like the idea of you having a Switch in every room of your house.
Or just having
like
a dock in every
switches.
station.
Like when the battery dies, you just buy a new Switch.
I like the idea.
Throw the Switch out the window and get a new Switch out of the box.
I like the idea more of you just having like, instead of having like a magazine rack in your bathroom, it's just a bunch of like loose switches that people can just grab as they go. Anyway, Xbox hot news. They did announce the Xbox Series X. $500 coming out November 10th, but they also announced the Series S, which is their smaller version, less powerful. It doesn't have like a disk drive. It also looks like a walkie-talkie, but that's neither here nor there. It is, a less powerful version of the X, similar to the S is now with the X on this current generation. A little bit confusing naming, but I think you get it. The Series S is similarly it is a more affordable thing. I think they're going to even have financing options. It'll still play all the same games. It's going to be about $300 US, but it's digital only, less powerful. I don't know. It seems cool.
It looks like a Minion too.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's kind of a problem.
It does. It's also so tiny, which I think is great. I love how small it is.
I do.
I think it's fabulous. It's super affordable. I think Xbox is going in a really cool direction with their pricing options. And you can see that with Game Pass. What they're doing is they're saying gaming is an expensive hobby. It's kind of ridiculous. We all know this. The gaming price structure is still at a $60 price point, but now you're seeing games where if you want all the DLC and the bonus materials, get well over $100. Game Pass is just unbelievable, all the different content that you're getting for a subscription-based service. You're not paying outright for them. You can easily, not easily, but you can swing this, I think, just a lot easier than you can buying a full-priced game every month, which is just getting exorbitant. And the $299 version is functional. I think that this is a cool direction to go if you were to buy a console at all. I understand Merritt's concept, just get a PC, you get a way better experience. You can get a really good, you can get the new GPU, get the fancy GPU, go for it, money bags, McGee. But, it's amazing that it's an option. I had someone argue with me on Twitter and was like, why would you advocate for this? Like, PC is better. And I was like, no shit. We're not talking about what's better. I'm not talking about what's like gives you the most pixels here. I'm talking about what's like functional for everyday people. And a lot of people are going to buy this because it's what they can afford this Christmas or whatever. I think it's an awesome option.
I think no matter what, there is a very accessible plug and play aspect to consoles, which is why it appeals to mass audiences, right? Like you can plug that into a wall, plug it into your TV, and then just like go.
Oh yeah, no one should use a PC. Do that. It's disgusting. It's monstrous. Like I didn't build my PC either. I got someone to do it for me. And if something breaks, then I'll just start screaming and hitting it until it works again.
It's like the old Apple commercials.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that the that subscription model is pretty cool, where it's like you get. Because I didn't really understand it at first. I was like, oh, wait, so what? Game Pass is just more expensive now? But it's like, oh, no, you get a console and Game Pass for like this much a month, which is like a pretty good deal, I think.
It absolutely
is. I also consumer. I don't know about like what the, business model there is, but because it seems like they're probably going to be taking a loss. But
yeah, I mean, it seems very appropriate for kids or families or people who have multiples, I would say.
And even like people who, like I have a lot of friends who aren't in the industry who will play like 4 games a year and they still buy the consoles because they like playing them. But it's not necessarily a thing that's like, I'm going to go out and buy every game right as it comes out. I think that's how a lot of people consume games. I also am really, really happy to see that they are announcing the S with the X. Because it was a little frustrating this console generation to like buy a PS4 and then like a year later have to upgrade to a Pro. Same with the X. It's nice that they're both coming out right away. So like, okay, I am in the market where I want the high powered thing, or I am in the market where I just need to play games when I want to play games. And it's not necessarily the investment I want to put into it. I'm really happy with how they're rolling these out. I don't know, November 10th seems so soon. Like, I feel like there's so much life in my current consoles. It's wild to me. Whatever, you freaks, buy your consoles right away, pre-order them. I don't know what games you're going to play on them. Probably ones I'm still playing on my X. Anyway.
I'm a certified freak 7 days a week, and I'm going to get that Xbox S, I think. I think it sounds like a good one for me.
That S rule. It's so tiny. I want a little tiny guy.
For the Xbox E, which is going to come a year from now, and it'll be in terms of specs, it'll be in between the Xbox S and the Xbox X,
or like the LX, where it's like silver plated.
Well, no, it does have to be called the E for the joke to work. Otherwise, it's the Xbox Selects. Yeah.
Oh, I see where you're going.
The Series S.
I got it now. I got it now.
Yes.
For it to be the funny word. Yeah.
Speaking of funny words, the new Dune trailer came out to everyone's chagrin. Chagrin is a good thing, right? Everybody's so excited about Dune. It seems fine. I watched the Dune trailer. It's Timothée Chalamet. Zendaya.
It looks fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm into it.
Wait, Abby, have you read these books?
I started the books and I didn't finish them. I've been meaning to go back to them, but I have not yet. I also, it's like a real high, like science fiction book, which is like fine. It's like a little bit getting used to reading it, but also like the main character's name is like Paul and his mom's name is Jessica, and it kept taking me out of it. I'm like, you're talking about like sandworms and like all these different worlds, and it's like, well, Paul is the chosen one, and I'm like, no, there's no way.
Everything. That's all you need to know about him. Paul is the best at being a nun. He's the best at being a Bedouin person. He's Lawrence of Arabia, and his son becomes a big worm. And sorry, I'm a freak who's read all the Dune books.
Okay.
Because when I was in grad school, I had funding for a summer and didn't have any research to do. And I was like, what am I going to do? And then 2 months later, I woke up in like a cold sweat and I realized I had read all of the Dune books. And they're real sicko shit. Like they start off
for us non-knowledgeable.
Yeah. So the first book, like the first movie, it's weird, but like it doesn't even touch how weird this series gets. Like Timothée Chalamet's character's son later on becomes a big worm. That's like his goal, is to become a big worm. And then
what a fun book! Oh my god, why is that not the main character? I want to read a book about somebody whose goal is to become a worm.
What's his brother's name?
His son, he calls his son Leto the Second, I think, after his dad, who is Oscar Isaac's
Jared
character.
Leto?
Yeah.
See, but even that's more of like a weird spacey name versus Paul.
Leto. Like
that suits. Okay, a big worm named Leto.
Yeah, and he's a big worm, and he clones and kills a character from the first movie like hundreds of times to create a perfect version of him. Maybe it's been a long time since I read those
That's
books.
fine.
But like,
No
it's just funny because
spoilers
there's
here,
time
but-
skips, and I'm really curious to see if any of the actors who are in this first one have signed contracts to like play their clones like
Oh, fascinating.
1,500 years in the future of Dune or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, have y'all seen the trailer? Looks good. Looks like a movie.
Yeah.
People are real
Yeah, it's a
excited
movie.
about it. This is the same director who did like Arrival, I think, right?
You can tell because there's a lot of slow-mo shots of eyeballs and, thinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We like thinking, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Same.
I don't remember when it's coming out.
It's theaters only, though, right?
Yeah, December. Theaters only. Can they do that
I
though?
thought I saw that.
I feel like
my
they'll say
God.
that now, and then when people are still in their houses in December, they'll be like, "But actually, you can pay for it
JK.
now."
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, Dune looks fun. I'm there to see it. I think Timothée Chalamet is fine. I don't get the fervor personally. He's a little boy. I want a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was looking at Oscar Isaac on that whole trailer personally.
I'm looking at Zendaya. Are you guys on drugs?
I know, no, Zendaya. I was like,
Everybody
make her the
doesn't
star.
hold a candle to Zendaya.
Make
You're
Zendaya
absolutely
the
right. 4 out of
Zendaya
10
should be the
needs
new
more
Paul.
Zendaya.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Anyway,
If you can clone people in Dune, why isn't everyone
have her play
That's a
all
great
of the parts.
question.
They fucked up.
That's
They
the
did
real
fuck
question.
up.
That's the real plot hole here.
Anyway,
Yeah, ask Frank Herbert, although he is dead. So
I hope Timmy does a good job. Speaking of good jobs or not good jobs, there's been a lot of Fortnite drama. I don't know if you guys saw the reckoning between Fortnite and Apple.
There's more?
Oh, yeah.
There is more. It's an ongoing saga. So
my
just a little
goodness.
recap of what's happened so far.
Okay.
Apple pulled Fortnite off of the iOS App Store, so you couldn't play it on iPhone anymore unless you had already downloaded it before, because they were circumventing Apple's basically pay fee app. If you have like an app,
Fortnite shot first. That's important in the story.
True.
Okay, Fortnite shot first. This we know,
yeah,
but
Epic
basically,
did yeah. They
And then Apple clapped back.
so Apple. What happened was
terrible
Apple.
pissing match. Oh my God.
Apple has a fee if you have an app on their system and you have like in-game apps that you have to pay, and you have to pay Apple a certain amount of that fee for however much you pay within the app. And Epic was found a way to circumvent that. So Apple said, you're going against our things, our like terms of service. We are pulling you from the App Store. Epic had like a big drama, like this weird like 1984 parody within Fortnite. So they went to a lawsuit. I think Epic sued Apple. They lost that lawsuit, and now Apple is suing Epic for what they've done, basically. So there's like
how dare
another
you.
lawsuit. Yeah, it's gonna happen
How
via
dare.
Zoom. Another lawsuit over all of this drama rigmarole. And also, if you are someone who signed up in Fortnite via your Apple account, you will now like have to that account's going to end basically. So you have to either tie it to an Epic account, or it's going to be gone and lost in the ether. You won't be able to sign in because it's associated with Apple. I know I've missed a ton of details. There's a lot more to this story.
You got 'em.
That's like the gist of it, though, right? Is like,
Yeah.
they're basically suing each other. It's a lot of like, Epic being real pissed
internet beef.
because this is Apple's services.
Mom and dad are fighting and they're both fuckers. That's the like real gist of it. They're both bad. They're both doing things to hurt each other and spite each other. It's a 2-toaster home and the children are miserable.
Epic is
children
like
lose.
trying to pull the kids into
Every
it
time.
by like giving them like cool skins and candies and stuff.
Making them watch weird propaganda videos on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, I gave you extra snacks in your lunch. Your mom's a whore.
That's it. Your mom's
I mean, yeah, basically.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see how this all shakes out. I'm sort of curious. But I don't know. It's a lot of weird corporate drama with like a bunch of rich people over their like money makers, right? Like that's all this is like how much money can we pull from each other? We'll see who winds up more rich than the other one. Probably we'll both be very, very rich by the end of it.
Yeah, God.
Yes.
Embarrassing for all parties involved.
Yeah.
They're both like really interesting because it's just such a large battle of the lawyers, correct? Right? Because Apple has always had the precedent that they have the money go through them, right? So circumventing that was what started this whole thing. You're not allowed to do that. But you can see with the way that they had their lawyers, submitting everything right after the drama went down, you could tell that they had been preparing for this for months. This is not something that they chose to do. This is something that they've been talking about for years and went through to do. Yeah. And now this has happened before in like tech scenes and stuff, but what's fascinating is that Fortnite is using their base to like kind of get the children on boards. They're basically like in the game. They're just like Apple's bad and like making sure everyone knows like that 1984 shit you were talking about, Abby. That's what's fascinating about it.
Yeah.
They're trying to leverage the youths to be like hate Apple, which is a really tough thing to do because kids love Apple. So this is where this parenting fighting is coming to a head. And I don't know actually what's going to happen. It'll be really interesting. My guess is that Fortnite will recede and just realize that Apple can't actually be messed with their pay systems. They just won't allow it, and they can afford not to have Fortnite.
And I'm sure that Fortnite probably knows this. I feel like they're probably just riding the wave knowing like, hey, we're really rich. We can spin this as like we're the victims here and like get more people to sign up for Fortnite and like to get those exclusive like weird Apple skins. You know what I mean? Like whatever. They'll both be fine. Like ultimately, it'll be fine. Yeah. I do wish I downloaded it on my phone first now that I'm into Fortnite though.
It was such like oh my God, just such a fucking mess. And like so many people are so credulous about this stuff when they were like, oh yeah, Epic is taking on Apple to pave the way for the little guys. And it's like, what makes you think that Apple gives a shit?
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, good for them.
Like,
they're really helping out the little guys.
I mean, I can see that being an opportunistic moment for a lot of smaller creators to sort of get past that 30% tax, which is a huge hit if you can afford it. But
I'm not defending Apple either.
I mean, I just think we can all see it's probably not going to work. I mean,
well,
it is what it is.
To pivot from one rich corporation to a less rich and getting less richer corporation, GameStop, not GameSpot, GameStop has closed nearly 400 stores this year. I have some quotes from their CEO, Jim Bell. These closures, along with the growth in our online business and expanded omni-channel capabilities, will allow us to more efficiently and profitably serve our customers, which I think is like nice spin on like, we're just shifting to online versus like, no one shops in our stores anymore. The Think Geek thing didn't work. It's I like GameStop. I know people hate GameStop. I like getting used games. I think it was a really good service for people who wanted an affordable game. Like I think that's a nice thing. I think people rag on used games all the time, but like being able to buy a used game, especially as like a kid, was like so vital and also good for the environment. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But like having that economy and like there are other ways around it. You can go to Craigslist, whatever. Neither here nor there. So GameStop is just not doing well. I'm reading from a GameSpot story about it. One of my favorite things about this story, though, is they are talking about, like, they're closing the stores and trying to, like, de-densify the business and, like, reduce costs. It's just, like, a lot of speak for, like, hey, things aren't going well, so we're shutting stores down. But one of my favorite parts about this story is it does say that, like, in the midst of all this and trying to save money, they did sell their, like, private jet, which really just tickled me. Like, it took this long.
They really wanted to hold on to that jet,
jet. It's just wall-to-wall Funkos.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, GameStop, where am I going to get my Funkos now? Like,
a great question.
I gotta have my Funkos. Like, what, Target? They don't have the variety and selection that I need.
Yeah,
God,
I mean,
what if GameStop hadn't been like a horrible place to go? Like, I mean, I think we'll have another point of contention here because, like, for me, GameStops are always like nightmarish and frankly kind of embarrassing places. Like, well, they're just always, there's TVs on like telling you like, here's the latest hot tips for Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Gold. I don't even know if that's a video.
How else would you know the tips?
I know the tips. Okay? I've got an Orlando Blue poster already. I know the tips. But like compared to like just like I don't know, like an independent game store where like I feel like oftentimes I would get like much better prices and stuff, like at like a Pink Gorilla in Seattle, or like I don't know, there's a whole bunch of places that don't exist anymore because it's I guess just a hard market. Yeah. But like, and GameStop too, like they're gouging on used stuff sometimes. Occasionally, like I would get good deals, but then I feel like sometimes you would sell stuff to them, and like it became like a whole like meme in the community, right? Of like, oh, they bought this game back for you for like $5 and are now going to resell it for like 40 when the new copy is like 50 or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. I'm not trying to be here like defending like I love corporations. I'm pro Epic and pro Apple. But like I as someone who really went to GameStops a lot, like it was vital for me that I could buy a game cheaply and that I could trade it in for a new one when I was done with it. Like I think that is like
by the time that I went into an electronics boutique, which was basically our version of GameStop in Canada, when I was very young, with my father, and Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball was playing on a TV. And I don't really recommend that experience of being there with your father while that's on a TV and just sort of having to stand there and wait to buy your copy of Animal Crossing for the game.
Yeah. Did you have to send your dad to horny jail because he was looking at the ad?
I just remember being like, I don't know, just like mortified. And I don't think he was like horny. I think he was like, what is happening here? Like, is
when
this a
the
video
first
game?
What was that one? There was the slow-mo character. It was the slow-mo trailer that came out for zombies that were on vacation. They were wearing like bathing suits and stuff, and they were attacking everybody. Dead Island? Was it the original? I went to horny jail. And I remember being like transformed by that trailer because everyone was like, this is wild, like another zombie one. And I was like, they're wearing bikinis. This is great.
Why would you want to make a dead body sexy? Why would you want to make a dead body sexy? That's my question.
I don't get that either. But I mean, not here to kink shame.
Look, Mary.
No, I am here to kink shame.
But a dead body cannot consent.
I think some people need a good kink shaming.
Dead Island. It was Dead Island, yeah.
And I think Dead Island need one, yeah, for sure.
It was a cinematic marvel, but I think like those types of things did happen. There were these transformative moments that happened at GameStop that were a part of my youth. I remember like going in and seeing trailers and being like, well, that's the one. Like that's the one Mary's gonna get. I think what helped me purchase my first Gears of War was that the trailer looked so cool. I didn't know. I didn't look it up on forums. I was like too young and like stupid to understand like how to do the research, but I would go into the store and see these like dope dudes like walking around in their giant gear, and I was like, that's the one for Mary. And I think I kind of am sad if GameStop is going the way of the Fuddruckers, what will the youths do when they don't understand, how they don't have that experience to walk into a store and look at what they could experience? Because some people, this is my experience, that some people are often advertised to in a very particular way. I was advertised to with a certain type of game. Girls will like this type of game. Yeah. You will like this type of console. And when I went into the GameStop, I was like, I want the war one. And so that changed the course of my life. And so I'm very thankful to that experience. And I would hope that other people get to have that experience too, where they find for themselves looking through shelves of stuff and they pick something out and it feels right and they take it home and they try it.
Well, I wonder if watching people stream is the new version of that experience now, since so much of our lives are lived online and for use now versus when, I'm assuming when we were mostly used, like that wasn't a thing. Twitch didn't exist. YouTube was just barely a thing. I think it was like 2005. That was way before I was shopping for video games, or way after I was shopping for video games. So I don't know, maybe there's a counterpart to that that's done online now, but it is a shame to think like little Riana now will never walk into the GameStop and see Jade Empire and go, oh, cool, I can do magic and swords, and then buy that game.
Yeah, for sure. I remember buying, because the DS was like the first console I bought with my own money, and I would like get all the games with my own money, and like GameStop was a big part of that. And I remember it was a thing that I would just look on the shelves and be like, yeah, I'll get this one. It's used. It's like $10. I'll try it. And that's how I got like 90% of my games. And that is like a really sentient point, I think, too, which is just like I could choose for myself. Anyway, again, I don't know why we're all like, we love GameStop, but
back in our day.
I think like we've all had really positive, informative experiences in like games retail spaces, and it just sucks that GameStop in particular was run by just some truly bad people making bad decisions. Yeah, like all the stuff around COVID, and they're like, we're still gonna have midnight openings and all the stuff like. And really, the main issue is here that like a lot of people are going to be out of work, and they're only just now selling their private jet, and it's like, this is absurd.
Yeah. I think the main problem was GameStop wasn't run by gamers. I think we can all agree on this. Was not run by gamers, and that was its ultimate downfall.
If gamers were involved, this never would have happened.
Gamers should rule the world.
Anyway,
gamers never have private jets. They don't leave their fucking houses.
Gamers are never the worst.
That's true. Where do you need to go? You're gaming. You don't need a private jet.
Exactly.
They would just sell the games. And now I have to buy my Funko Pops in a Target like a dog.
I have to go to Spencer's now.
Where am I going to go when I got to go to horny jail? That's what I want to know.
Can't see dead zombies at Spencer.
Well, speaking of going to horny jail, the transition that really doesn't work, but Ninja, the famed Ninja. Another fun history we get to recap. Ninja got big playing Fortnite on Twitch. Then he got a big old deal going to Mixer. Mixer shut down. Ninja had nowhere to go. So Ninja went to YouTube for a bit. And now Ninja signed a huge deal and is going back to Twitch. He also promised to bring underrepresented creators to his channel, is what he said. We'll see what that means. As y'all, I'm sure, remember a little while ago, like maybe a couple years ago, he did say, like, I don't stream with women gamers because I have a wife. That's like literally basically what it was like, why would I play with girl gamers? I don't want people to think I'm flirting with them. And it was bad. It was bad. And then he kind of doubled down on it. So hopefully this is him making right on it. I want to believe he can do that.
We love a turnaround.
I do. And look, I love a man who loves his wife. Don't get me wrong. But I think one could argue maybe the best way to show that like it's healthy to play games with women is to play games with women. Just a thought. Anyway, so
Imagine.
That's Ninja news. Good luck to him and his wife. And finally,
seems lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got no real beef with Ninja. I just think it was real boneheaded, and I hope he's learned something from it, is all I'll say.
I would expect so, because I think that there's been a lot of commentary about that. Twitch has a lot of pretty vocal female streamers who have said their piece about that statement and have continued to do so. And I think that like Riana said, you love a good like turnaround story. Who knows? Like that, the proof is in the pudding. But I think it's great to hear that he's saying something, and then you see the action afterwards is where we really get to see what's happening here. But I think it's valid. He could have ignored it. When when these creators get to a degree, they can say whatever they want. And at one point, it's like you can't tell people what to say anymore. They're large stars. They can say what they want. He didn't have to make a statement at all. So hopefully like that's a really good sign. And it's a really interesting turn of events in general. So, I mean, I guess, I work for Twitch, so it's a bit awkward for me, but like, I was like excited to see this because when this thing like all went down, it was sad. It's awesome for creators, for the record. People always ask like, how does it feel to like lose creators to Mixer? And I was like, well, I mean, it's good for them. Competition is good. I like competition because it makes us work harder. You only have one person who's like on top of the market. They they can be like total jerks and nobody does anything about it. That's why I like Epic, right? Like I like competition because it makes everybody be better. And so I think it's cool that they got to have these options. And I think it's also cool to see someone return, because that to me says we didn't ruin it. We didn't like mess it up so much that he was like, I'm never returning. So that was cool to see. But you're right. The proof is in the pudding. We shall see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to that point, like in general, when people say things or they make a very boneheaded statement, or they have a really controversial or inappropriate belief, not everyone's perfect. Everyone's on their own journey. People grow over time. People change over time. They learn from their mistakes, hopefully. And I'm always one to like wait and see. So that's where I am with a lot of folks who've said some things that are controversial or have been in spotlight for really bad reasons. I'm wait and see. Like, are you advocating for Breonna Taylor now? Oh, okay. Now I'm going to look a little bit closer. And that's kind of where I am with Ninja.
Yeah, for sure. I feel very similarly. Like, I don't know. I don't really care. I thought it was, again, like a very just kind of a dumb thing to say about his, like, I don't stream with women because I have a wife thing. But hopefully he's learned something from it. You know, I would like to take someone as who they are now versus who they were then. But also, you know, I also think it's coming from a place of privilege to be able to forgive someone, but that's sort of neither here nor there. But he's coming back to Twitch. Yep. We'll see how it goes. I think, you know, I hope he does boost platforms for underrepresented groups, because I think that's generally great. And he has the platform to do it, so why not? And I do think he has done a lot of really decent stuff. I know he's done like a lot of charity work and whatnot. So hopefully this is an extension of that. We'll see. On a final note, final piece of news, much lighter. They're bringing dogs to Sea of Thieves. There's a new Sea of Thieves updates. They're having more treasure, and they're also bringing dogs. So for those who don't know, Sea of Thieves has cats, they got birds, they got monkeys, and now they got dogs. And it seems pretty good. It seems like you can like shoot them out of cannons. They'll like dance with you. The animals in that game are very good. I'm a big Sea of Thieves fan. Yes, I know you can dress them up. They're very cute. I'm excited. So eventually, one day we'll go back to Sea Beasts, which is a feature we have on this on Giant Bomb. I want to get back to it. This is another incentive. It's usually like what happens is they'll have an update like this, and it's like, guys, there are dogs, and then I can get everybody back into it. So hopefully that's what'll happen. But dogs are coming to Sea of Thieves. Woof woof.
Yay.
Yeah.
Can you pet them?
You can pet them. You can hold them. It's a good time. The pets, they do a good job with the pets. You can name them. Like the pets in Sea of Thieves are very fun, because you can just like, they're a nice, cute thing that's not too like intrusive. It's not in the way. It's something you have to like worry about. It's just like a nice thing that I can like put on a shelf while I'm driving and see my bird like bopping to music. You know what I mean?
Just vibing.
Exactly. Which I really love. But I think that's it for the news. So why don't we take another break? How does that sound?
Sure. Sounds good. I wonder if there's going to be news from Ubisoft. They're doing their thingy right now.
Oh, yeah. Probably. We'll probably cover it next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm sure there's lots of new announcements. You guys have any predictions? I don't. Cool. All right. Hot scoop.
Attach that video to their actual video. That they were like, oh, we're going to address all the stuff in this short little video beforehand that isn't connected to the actual presentation. So most people won't see it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing
come
that.
on, guys. Come on.
Phoenix Rising coming out December 3rd. That's cool that it's this year.
All right. Well.
Prince of Persia. The huge.
Oh, yeah.
Hot scoop.
We all thought Prince of Persia was coming. I think that was a gimme.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, on that note, let's take another quick little break.
Okay.
And welcome back. Man, feels good to be back in the show and back reading emails. It's that time of the podcast where we get to read emails from excellent listeners just like you. You could have your email read on the show. All you got to do is email beastcast@giantbomb.com. That is beastcast@giantbomb.com. I read all the emails, and maybe I'll pull yours for the air. Who knows? Who knows? But we do have some wonderful emails today. So Mary, why don't you take it away and read this one from Mark, please? Mark from Philadelphia.
I will read the one from Mark from
you don't have to
Philadelphia.
read the title above. You just got to read the email.
Okay, that's the part that's not bold, correct?
Correct, yes.
That's how you know it's live. The bowling room at the end of There Will Be Blood made me wonder, what would you put in your entertainment basement if you were enormously wealthy? Mark from Philadelphia.
Ball pit. Although that probably isn't very expensive now that I think about it, because it's mostly just plastic in a hole. But that was the first thing I thought of.
True. You know, a fun thing about ball pits is I've heard that they are like really filthy. Like that.
Well, it would just be for me.
Yes, I know yours would probably be my dead skin cells. Yes, you would be okay. Well, it's like the ball pits for kids. I guess apparently they find like, this is gross, like vomit in them, needles. Just like nastiness, because these kids get in there and then a bunch of balls, so it all just like falls to the bottom. Just
okay, maybe I need to rethink it then. Thanks, Abby.
Anyway, that's all I can think about when I think of ball pits. Yeah, I'm sure you have a lot of needle parties in your ball pits.
Make it rich. You could like make it really rich and Scrooge McDuck, and basically instead of balls, which are overrated, let's be real, and make it money and just dive in that.
Money's dirty. But
money's dirty.
Money is dirty.
Freshly printed bills.
Freshly printed bills. You're rich.
Oh, bills.
Right?
Wow.
Those are going to tear, though.
True. Okay, so what is the ideal ball pit material then? I think that's where we are now. I like the foam thing with like the gymnastics studios.
Ooh, yeah, those are hard to get out of, but they're fun. I have an idea. If you want to seem like a rich guy, what you got to do is you got to do a ball pit, but each ball is signed by a different celebrity, and they have like gold, like the gold film on them, so it's like the gold foil. So they're not heavy, but they got gold. So that's how you know it's like a rich guy's ball pit. Just my suggestion. I would probably have a pool. I want a pool in my basement, but I would have it like decked out with like fun snacks, like a milkshake machine, and like you got a TV, so I could just like hang out in the pool all day.
McDonald's ice cream machine that never breaks down.
Yes. Oh my God. I want that right now.
For the McFlurry or for the soft serve?
For the soft serve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wendy's one. What is it? Frosty. I think a Frosty.
You can dip your fries in it.
Frosty.
Yeah, you dip your fries in it.
Ooh. Into this.
What am I doing for lunch?
Yeah, when is lunch? I think if I was really rich, I love a physical pinball machine, and they're very expensive. Like new ones are like $8,000. I was looking it up the other day because my dad casually mentioned he'd always wanted a pinball machine, and I was like, what an awesome present that would be if I could do it. And then I was like, but if I was like wicked rich, I think I would have a room of my own pinball machines. I think that would be really fun, and definitely skee ball, because that's my favorite arcade game. Yeah, I like skee ball. And I specifically go to arcades that have skee ball at not a ridiculous cost, because $1 for skee ball, are you shitting me? But like $0.25 for skee ball is a good deal. And I would do that all day, every day until I was dead. And I'd have a really good time doing it.
That does sound really fun. Also, you should talk to Jeff Baclar, who actually does have a whole mess of pinball machines. And you should also talk to him, because he's got like some kind of setup. Like you got the Twitch hookup. You could make this happen, because he streams from them. So they're just like, yeah, we'll keep sending you pinball machines. I think the key is there aren't very many pinball influencers out there. So like anyone who is enthusiastic with a slight audience, yes, exactly. You'll make this happen. I believe in you, Mary.
I was once like taken on like, you know how like when Batman used to take people to the Batcave, he had to like blindfold them and so like drive through all these stuff. I was taken to someone's house in like outside of Toronto, Ontario, like 7 or 8 years ago. And apparently there is some law on the books still that it's like illegal to own over a certain amount of pinball or arcade machines without it being like a business, which I'm sure the cops like never enforce. But I was taken to this like underground pinball league that was in someone's basement where they had like a dozen pinball machines, and there was this like informal league that ran out of it. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, although I'm terrible at pinball. I just get so nervous, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like I just want to keep I can't focus on hitting the things because I just want to keep this thing going.
I can't believe that you could do Monster Hunter and stab the heart of a fucking like
Totally different. Yeah, no.
pinball, and you're like, I don't know what to do.
That's scary. It's like there's a huge gap right there. Why don't they make the flippers longer? What the fuck? Like
pinball's
The flippers
so
are
hard.
insanely short. It's not okay.
they're so short, they should be longer. Like, why do you leave this hole there?
Yeah. I mean, they originally
There's
banned
too many holes
pinball.
in pinball.
It's an effective valve.
I think they originally banned pinball because it was considered gambling, and then they brought it back when someone was like, "No, I'm proving it's a game of skill." But honestly, I don't think it is. I think it's too fucking hard. I think it's all chance. They keep going down the gutter for me, and that's not because I'm bad. It's because it's rigged against me. That's
There's
just
a
my thought.
museum in Alameda, I think, California, which is pretty cool because you just pay to get in, and then you can play all of them as much as you want.
That's so cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
I would have a conversation pit also if we were going to do the rich person basement. Like, you know,
Like
in the 70s when we had like
yeah.
the sunken, or 60s, like sunken, just like pit with like a bunch of cushions, and you would just like talk about
Cocaine.
Well, yeah,
LSD.
I mean, sure, you would do cocaine, absolutely. But
Welcome
like, you
to
just
the
talk
pit.
about like how we're like all the same, but all different. And like, there are these systems that keep us apart and stuff. That's like the ideal for me.
Wow, that sounds nice. I can't wait for all of us to become rich. Let's be roommates and have all of these things in one room.
Yeah.
Wait, Abby, what was yours? I remember
A
we had a ball pit, and
Cool.
we had
Pool with
like
snacks.
discussion pit, and I had arcade of expensive items. What's yours?
I had a wonderful pool that would have a TV. It would have snacks. It would have like a wall that could open up so I can get some sun in there if I wanted to. Like one of those is like indoor outdoor. You know what I mean?
Whoa,
That's my dream. That's my goal. That's what I want. I want a big pool.
So you're on a sloped lot so that the basement also has some access to sunlight.
I'm a rich guy, so I can make a basement go outside too if I want to. You know what I mean? That's my
Like a nice Iron Man situation. I love it.
Exactly. Okay.
I'm rich. I'll just make the basement upstairs.
I'll just
I'm
buy
rich.
the sun.
I don't have to abide by God's laws.
What are you, Apple?
Anyway, I will read this next one from Travis. This isn't one I would normally pull because I think our normal grouping on the Beastcast has covered this quite a bit, but with a new crew, I think it'll be a fun question. Hey guys, I know it's been a heated topic in the past, but what's with all the Super Mario Sunshine hate? With the new port coming to the Switch, I'm interested to hear what you guys think makes this game so mediocre in comparisons to the 64 and Galaxy in Mario games. That's from Travis. I will go on record as someone who played Super Mario Sunshine semi-recently, a couple years ago. It's just a bad game. The level designs are bad. It's like busted.
It's interesting you say that.
I
was going to say, it's like, Travis, I mean, like, what's with all the Super Mario Sunshine hate? Well, like, a lot of people, unfortunately, just have very bad taste. And so, you know, people like Coldplay, and people don't like Super Mario Sunshine. So, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Does everybody but me like Super Mario Sunshine? Mary, you look gobsmacked right now.
There's
Rihanna,
just so
you're
much
not looking me in the eye.
from the aggressive opinions. It's innovative.
Topic.
My question is,
Do we
when
give
was,
any credit for like the fact that it did something first and really well?
what did it do first?
Just like the
water
mechanics.
jets?
The first game where Mario has a talking water gun on his back.
God.
The first and
My
only.
question for all of you: when was the last time you've played Super Mario Sunshine?
It's been years.
That would be
on a
never.
GameCube, but
Okay.
I'm really excited to play it again because
It doesn't hold up the test of time. Is that what we're discussing?
So wait,
it
hold on.
doesn't age well.
Yes, but Rihanna, are you on my side? Whose side are you on right now? That's what I
Oh,
gotta
I'm just
tell.
loving the shade right now. I'm just
Okay.
right in.
So, as someone who's played it recently, the game is not well designed. It's confusing. It's obtuse. It's also just like the controls are really bad. They fight against you at like every part of it. And Mario games generally feel pretty good to play. So I think that's my biggest gripe with Mario Sunshine. In addition to it, it's got some like batshit story going on, which is like kind of fun. But like, I'm pretty sure this is a story where like Peach sees Bowser Jr. and Bowser Jr.'s like, "Mommy," and it's like, what? I got a lot of questions, you know? I just think it's in the canon of Mario games, it's in the pits. It's not the first I would recommend.
Can I ask what your favorite 3D Mario game is?
Does 3D Land count for the 3DS?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like
yeah,
in
3D
between,
Land is
but that is my
fantastic.
3D in
favorite.
it.
I think it is the best. I think 3D World. I know, but it's like it's a platformer versus like an open world. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, no. But it's amazing. It's super good. But I think Sunshine is just so vibrant, and like the vibes on that game are just like mwah, incredible. Like the music, Delfino Plaza, the goop in the water is so like just like really gorgeous, and like the colors are wonderful.
Wow,
I don't know.
Not
I
talking
really
about the
enjoyed
gameplay
it.
much on this one I see, but that's fine.
I can see why people wouldn't. It's not a traditional Mario game because you have to do all this weird water stuff. But
yeah,
maybe I'll go back to it and hate it. And then if I do, I'll message you and tell you, Abby, you are right.
I cannot wait for this to happen. Yes,
that's what you owe. I think this has a 2-parter. I think you have to play it again. I have fond memories, and I think like that probably colors my thoughts of it. Like anybody's favorite childhood game. I bet if you go back to it and you're like, oh, it's ridiculously broken, you probably would realize now with more insight. But I have really fond memories, and I also just kind of reflect on it as very innovative for its time. So I thought that gave it a couple coins, but apparently not. Apparently it's trash for trash people. So thanks, Abby.
Look, I support the nostalgia for it. I just think as this game comes out, keep your nostalgia in check, because I played it pretty recently and it's kind of a stinker.
Wow.
That's all I'll say.
Strong words.
Bring
words.
some smelling
can't
salts. Okay. Rihanna, will you please read this one from Ranveer? Ranveer.
Yeah,
I believe is how you say their name.
Grab that one.
Should be on the top of this next page.
All right, this is it looks like a short one. It says, Dear Abdog and Company, what was the worst nickname you've ever gotten? Please and thank you. Worst nickname.
My stepdad used to call me Fuzzy Headed, and it was when I was like a little kid. That's probably it. Not a ton of nicknames. I'm not sure if y'all have them. I meant to check in with you before this one, because this one might be a thing that nobody has. But that's maybe the worst. It's not just like mean stuff. You know what I mean? But
oh, this is gonna be bad. I went to all girls Catholic private high school. We had very little outlet for being wild and crazy. And there was a period of time, and I want to say like sophomore year, where I got really annoyed with my friends leaving things places and just like losing them all the time. So if I saw somebody who left something out that I knew they would forget, I would just take it and wait for them to ask me if I've seen it and then give it back to them. And they started calling me klepto. I didn't actually take it for me. I was taking it for them so that they would know where it was when they finally realized they lost it. But apparently that makes me the bad guy.
There's an important part of the story that I'd really like to clarify, which is that you said that you took it and then you waited for them to ask you if you had it, which I believe is stealing and then being honest and returning.
I had good intentions, Mary. That's the point.
What were you doing when you took the item and you had it in your pocket and they don't know where it is? And they're asking
me my locker.
I don't know.
Someone else
where
have taken it.
I also
where is it?
This
I took it for their protection so that someone else wouldn't take it and never return it. You know, it made sense at the time.
I think that seems like a fun way to have fun at an all-girls Catholic high school. Maybe not the way I would have fun, but I still support it all the same. Anyway, so we heard Klepto's answer. Do you two have
okay? All right. Fair.
I feel like when I was growing up, nicknames weren't really like a thing.
Yeah.
It always seemed like a TV thing. Like, I think people tried to start their own nicknames, but like that's not really how it works.
That's not how nicknames work. You got to be like christened with one. If somebody else gives it to you, it's embarrassing.
Right.
Or no, if you give it to yourself, it's embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I feel like everyone sort of always as like, oh, that's something that happens on American TV is people get nicknames and they're cool and like they look like 5 years older than they should be. And they go to the max all the time. That's sort of how life is in the States.
True. Mary, any for you?
Yeah, when I was growing up, my parents and some like family friends would call me Mare Bear, which I loved. I think it's fun. I think this is the worst one. The worst one was when I moved to Australia. Australia's very notorious for having nicknames. You're not like they change everybody's name. That no matter what you are, they just convert it into something cuter and sillier. And it doesn't make it shorter. It's not the point. The point is that they add like an ah on the end of it because it's fun. And they like to say ah a lot. And when I got a job in Australia on my first day, I met a guy, nice guy. And he said, "Your name's Mary?" And he shook my hand. He goes, "I'm going to call you Maza." And I was like, "Maza."
And he
yelled to the whole office, "This is Maza." And for the whole rest of my time in Australia, the office called me Maza.
Did you like it?
No, because it has no affiliation with me. He gave it to me before he like knew anything about me.
That's
he was
so
just like, "Mary, that sounds like you're Maza now." And he's like yelled at everybody else I was Maza. I was Maza.
I feel like this is not an Australian thing at all. I think this is this guy thing, and he pulled one over on you and made it think that like this is all Australians do it, and like he let you. He was like, "I wonder how long she's gonna let us call her Maza."
He's like, "Hold my hand. That's how we do it over here in Australia."
Oh my God.
Yikes.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we all bared our souls on that one. Merrit, will you please read this one from Mike?
I will.
Great.
Mike from PA. Hi, Beasters. Is that what you call yourselves?
It's they've given it to us. I guess that's our nickname. I should have said that.
Is it your worst or your best?
Best.
So Mike from PA says, "I've been dating this girl for a few weeks, and this weekend we're having our first movie night. Now, she wants to watch a movie with me specifically because I'm a self-proclaimed movie buff, and I studied film in college. With that said, what we settled on was The Shining. She has never seen The Shining, and I'm slightly hesitant to do this as the first movie night. So 2 questions. What are the best movies to watch on early dates? Also, any tips for this weekend? My nerves are slowly creeping up on me."
No.
I think The Shining is a great option. I also just want to say it's wild that anyone started dating in quarantine. I support it. Yes. Whatever, have fun. Yeah. But like the idea of that to me, I'm like, weird. Wow. Anyway, Mike, have fun. Be safe in a few different ways. Anyway.
Yes, in all the ways.
Yes. I think The Shining is a great choice. I think it's like a classic. I think it's a fun movie. I also think like you can like snuggle up if it gets scary. On a date once saw Under the Skin, which is one of my favorite movies. The person I was on a date with had not seen it. It's a kind of a weird date option, but the good thing about it was there's a lot of like silence. It's a slow movie. It's ambient, so like you could like talk the whole time. I think a bad date is when you can't. Yes. Is when you like can't talk. Like I think bowling is deceptively bad because like you're always up and swapping, and like sometimes movies where it's like, oh, I'm watching the movie. Like, I think my tip for you as a self-proclaimed movie buff or whatever, movie nerd, is like, don't be real anal about how you watch the movie. If she wants to chat through the movie, let her fucking chat through the movie. You know, like, that's why you're here, right? Like, if she doesn't like the movie, that's not a personal thing. I think the worst thing is to go on a date and have the person be like, you didn't like the movie, you don't like me. And it's like, no, this is now a conversation, right? Anyway, those are my takes.
That's why I would say I actually haven't seen The Shining either. So maybe I should.
I watched it literally last night.
I haven't seen it either.
With Mike and but I know it's really good. I'm going to watch it. I promise. But
I won't.
I got a date, all of you.
It's too good. I think it's one of those movies that it's like you have to pay attention to. So for me, an ideal first date movie is either I think a horror movie is a good choice if both people are into that because. Like you say, there is like the snuggling if someone gets scared, but also I think it should be a movie that you can talk throughout. And I don't know if The Shining is one of those. So something more like a slasher, I think can be fun. Like one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which are like ostensibly horror, but also kind of funny and like goofy.
Yeah.
something that isn't like maybe a prestige film. I feel like you save those for like a few dates later when you are at a point where you can be like, shush, I'm watching the movie.
Like, yes.
You know?
Yeah, you want a movie that you can like talk over, basically. Like, you want to be able to have that connection and not feel too precious about it. That's my
Don't watch Blue is the Warmest Color on a first date.
That is intense.
Don't watch softcore porn
lesson
on
learned.
your first evening together.
It's not
because
pressure. It's
There's
just really depressing, and it's not a very good movie.
I'd say
probably good
anything
advice.
where it like reflects the current situation you're in too much,
Yes.
also not so good.
Avoid that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I think we should protect Mike at all costs. He sounds lovely. I like the idea that his concern is that he wants to make sure that his date is having a good time. And so I really like this. I love that you're thinking about her and her experience. I also am a pretty firm believer in being yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're altering your likes and your passions so that she has a good time too much, you're actually just delaying the inevitable, which is you may not be a good match. If you are a self-proclaimed movie buff and you studied film in college and you love Kubrick, then you should show her Kubrick and you should express your love of Kubrick to her. And if she's like, I hate horror and this doesn't make any sense to me, then you have your answer. I feel a little differently, only in the sense that I protect who you are and what you care about. And I think it's admirable that you would adjust that for her. I do think it's good to talk to each other and have a good time. And I would say, like, watching Friday the 13th, the original, it's a dope first date movie because you can have a lot of good fun. And then there's like that like nice juicy ending that you both get to go, ooh, that was so cool. We didn't expect that. You have to think a lot when like, teenage kids are getting stabbed in the back because they were having sex. Like you can just enjoy the experience. So there are options if you love horror and you want her to experience that with you. But if you love like classic Kubrick films and you want to share that love with her, I say do it. And if she hates it, then kick her to the curb and get another one, Mike.
I think I would say if she hates it, that's an interesting conversation. That's a thing you can get to know about her. She hated the movie. I just think don't be too precious about it is my thing. Like, what a turn off.
Yeah.
Like,
I would say don't be precious about it.
Yeah.
And then also just approach it like this is a new potential friend.
Yeah,
Try to take the pressure off. You may click, you may not. Just like, see what it's like to hang out together in person and be 100% safe and always get consent.
Yes. And also, if it's been a few weeks and like you're hanging out for your first movie night, like she likes you, dude. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, right? It's fine.
No, just be chill.
Yeah. Well,
take her to see Jaws and then do this every time the shark is near her.
Or say, whenever the shark is on screen, be like, that's Jaws.
Donna, that she'll love that. Yeah. We know what girls like.
Explain every scene to her.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that.
I'm kidding, Mike. Don't do that.
Let her know why her opinions on them are wrong.
Yeah, you went to film school, damn it.
Yeah, show her that you went to film school. Anyway, so that does it for emails, which means it's time for corrections, which there are none. No music today because there are no corrections. Woo!
We're perfect. Beep, beep. No mistakes were made.
No corrections. Yes, and I'm sure there won't be any for next week either. But that does it for another episode of the giant Beastcast. We've done it, ladies. We made it to the end. How does it feel?
I'm impressed.
It feels good.
Great.
It's nice.
Well, I guess should I put in the closing music and we can do all of our intro here. I'm going to let us do this before I put in the music because I tend to put it on too early and then I have to cut people off. So, Mary, please promote whatever you'd like to promote. Where can they find your work? What are you up to? What are you doing?
Hi, I'm on Twitch most of the time and Twitter under my name, Mary Kish. I stream horror games a lot. I'm playing through all of the Dead Spaces, Resident Evils, and Silent Hills in order. And then on Mondays, I play whatever it is I want, which tends to be like indie games. I work for Twitch, so you'll see lots of behind the scenes of the comings and goings at twitch.tv. And I like you come hang out with me sometime. Ooh, tonight we're watching Silent Hill on a watch party on Prime. So if you want to see the Silent Hill movie, which I have not, but in good memory, that's what I'm going to try tonight.
And that's twitch.tv/Mary Kish.
Yeah, MERRYKISH.
Cool.
It's confusing, I know.
Hey, look, I'm the queen of confusing usernames, so I'm not one to judge, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta change
Abby,
it. It's bad.
Yeah.
That's your nickname. Hey, Abby.
Okay, Merrit, what would you like to promote? What's going on?
I'm going to tell you about a little website called Fanbyte.com, where we talk about video games, all kinds of games. We talk about movies. We do a whole mess of podcasts. You like podcasts in your ears? We do one on RPGs called 99 Potions. We do one on movies called You'd Love to See It. We do all kinds of fun stuff. And Fanbyte is on Twitter at Fanbyte Media, and not at Fanbyte. That's some man, and Jack won't let us have that account. So at Fanbyte Media. I am at Merrit K on Twitter, and come hang out. And fanbyte.casa is our Discord. We have a lot of fun in there. So yeah, come on by. It's a great site, great community, and I think you'll love it.
Great. Last but not least, Riana, what would you like to talk about?
Yeah.
What do you want to promote? What's going on?
Yeah, you can find me on podcasts at What's Good Games. That's what'sgoodgames.com. Also, I'll stream on there occasionally along with Andrew, Renee, and Britt sometimes. And you can find most of my comings and goings on Twitter. That's Riana Tweets Now, Riana Tweets Now. And go play Tell Me Why. Chapters 1, 2, and 3 are all out today.
Yeah, cool. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, that's the wrong music. I was like, that's not what I expected. As I was saying, thank you all for being here. I think this is
You were confused.
This will work. I think thank you all for being here. I'm going to edit the music again in the final product. This is just for the live show, so whatever. Happy birthday if it's your birthday. Once again, this is the Giant Beastcast. Abby Russell has been the only mainstay host, but thank you so much to Mary Kish and Riana and to Merrit K for all being here. It has been so great having you. I've had really, quite frankly, just a fantastic time. I am padding a little bit for the music cue, but that's just A-okay. I love doing the Giant Beastcast, and I especially love doing it with cool people like you all. I hope everybody's playing games. I hope everybody's staying safe, especially to all those people who've been affected by the fires and the hurricanes. Oh, and that's the end. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.